guys, it's Jason and Michelle. Welcome back to Adventures in Aviators. Today we are on an epic day hike on the Tongariro Alpine crossing right next to Mount Doom in New Zealand. The Tongariro Alpine crossing is in the North Island of New Zealand, and it is on everyone's list of top 10 epic day hikes to see in the entire world. We enjoyed this trip a couple years back with two of our best friends, the Gerbers, as we were camper vanning through all of New Zealand, and it was a blast.
So just a side note, we started in South Island and worked our way around the South Island and up through the north. So we're actually coming up from the south, which determined where we stayed. So some of these parks, and there's a lot of them, they offer a round trip service to take you to the starting point of this hike and then pick you up at the end. This is not a hike that you go back and forth on. It is too long for a one-day hike, and your feet just cannot do that kind of hike back and forth. So just know that you will need to pay the fee or plan to camp. You know, there's a couple different options on the front end and the back end of this trip. And so we stayed at Discovery, which is the name of one of the camper van parks. And Discovery has the earliest start times as far as when they go drop you off at the hike. They give you a round trip, drop off pickup times, it's $40 a person.
So we left at about 5 in the morning to get there early, and weather is a heavy consideration for this hike, both as far as the gear that you bring and actually just the amount of time that you want to allow in this region. We had to wait a day because of weather and checked out other things in the area so that we could do this hike and see the beautiful views that you want to see at the top. And it was so worth it. We're so glad that we had the extra day built into our itinerary so that we could do this on a clearer day. Now that said, it still wasn't very clear when we left in the morning, and the guide told us, he's like, when you get up there, kind of wait a little while because I think we expect the weather to break, and that sounds like it's pretty typical for the region. So give yourself the whole day. You want to be up on top when the weather breaks and you can see the crystal turquoise lakes from atop. It is just absolutely breathtaking and one of the more unique and amazing views that we've ever seen. The beginning of this hike takes you through this awesome volcanic lava bed with just kind of a moonscape, and it's just a steady incline as you start making your way up to the top. This was our first volcano hike, and so this geography was just so foreign and unique to us. It looked like Mars, and that was just truly special as we made our way up. As we got towards the top, the winds really picked up. There were clouds whizzing by our heads, and it got cold, and we were so glad that we had our rain gear and different layers to put on and bundle up as we made our way towards the summit.
Right before you come over the top of the mountain to see these emerald lakes is probably the scariest part of the entire hike. And we saw people turn around because the winds were blowing so hard and there's nothing to hang on to, and it's kind of gravelly. It's very, very narrow. And when you can't see anything, you're just like, I'm gonna fall off this entire mountain. And I don't know, I'm gonna die. So so wrestled with death on top of this mountain, no big deal. But so once you made it right over the cusp, that's when you look down and see the emerald lakes, and they are truly amazing. If you freak out, just crawl up there. You'll get over it. I may have done that. It's fine.
It just kills me. This couple had turned around. They couldn't have been more than 50 yards from the top, and she turned around and said, it's just too much. We can't handle it. And it is very steep there, and the dirt is kind of loose, and it was hard hiking, but the fact that they missed the whole back end of this just kills me to this day. I can't believe that they didn't go through and make it over the top.
Now the trek down is completely different than the moonscape that you saw coming in. You just wouldn't think that all of these things should be in one hike. They just shouldn't be together. But you will come down. Some areas are actually paved where they have zigzagged you down, but then you go through water if it's been raining, and we had to go through several different streams where our feet got wet.
On your descent, you get amazing views of Lake Taupo to the north, and that was just spectacular. It's quite a ways away, but you can still see it because you're up so high.
And then there was rainforest all around us for quite some time before you pop out at the end of the hike. So this was our first full day hike that we had ever done. So we really weren't that prepared. We're gonna give you a few additional tips and suggestions. We did this in tennis shoes, probably not the smartest. We did have rain gear, we had a few layers, but we kind of got a few eye rolls from people because we just didn't look like we were ready to go. It's a long day, so you need to have everything prepared for your feet to hike the whole day. I stubbed my toe along the way, you know, I was a hot mess. But the way down is actually, to me, almost harder than the way up because you're constantly shoving your toes into the front of your shoe as you are going down.
Since we were doing the hike from south to north, it was nice that we didn't get our feet wet until the very end, but if you were going the other direction, oh, that would have been miserable. You would have had wet feet for the entire hike, and that just would have been a disaster. So just be prepared for all those things. Lots of food, lots of water, of course, sun protection, all those things that you want to have for any long day hike. Just make sure that you're prepared for everything.
This is the hike that got us really hooked on volcanoes and hiking any and all volcanoes that we can find. And so it is important to understand that this is also an active volcano. There is smoke coming out from different areas of the volcano, and there are warning signs along the way. So if there is an issue, they will warn you and tell you, but just be prepared that this is an active volcano, so things could happen.
So this hike is 19.4 kilometers and it is long and it is amazing, but spend as much time as you can at the top of the mountain. There's just a variety of amazing and unique landscapes to see as a part of this hike. We absolutely recommend this. If you are doing the North Island of New Zealand, it is a must do. We will see you next time. Come on, Sam. Let's go take the ring.
I'm Frodo.
Up the thing.
You're Sam.
Oh, why does it matter? I'm not going to be somebody named Frodo.
You're calling me.
Come on, Gandalf, let's go. So, Mount Doom is also known to other non-Hobbiton peoples.
For side note, as right.
Good.